Hello and welcome to a series of videos on JBoss EAP 7 migration. My name is Brian Maddle. I work for a company called C2B2 who are independent middleware consultants. This series will provide a high-level view into what to do if you're thinking of migrating to JBoss EAP 7. What standing for why, how, the action you'll take, and then what happens after that. In this particular video, we're looking at the drivers behind the migration. To start with, let's have a look at why we might want to migrate our current JBoss EAP to the new version EAP 7. And from my point of view, this kind of falls into three categories. The first category would be if your company has a lifecycle management policy, and this kind of thing can be if there might be a support requirement so that you're always fulfilling an enterprise support. There might be a licensing requirement that you're under the normal licenses rather than any other extended licenses, and there may just be a policy of having to be on a release which is a couple behind the current release out there, just for stability factors, and this is all really just to reduce the risk of the application and the stability of the application and the supportability of it. The other category is technology. The technology you use will obviously be part of a solution, and that may be driven by other external projects or other factors. You might want to remain operable within these and be on a version which is fully tested and supported with all the interfaces surrounding it. You might find, for example, that one of your dependent technologies, such as Oracle, is managed by a different team, and they have their own lifecycle management plan, which means they need to upgrade their version for their own reasons, whether it be for licensing or support, and you need to be compatible with those. And then we have the third high-level contention, which is the opportunity. If you're moving on to modern new technology, then of course you're going to get the opportunities that arise with that, with any new features that may come out of that, any enhancements you can make to your own coding because you have the facility to do that. You might be able to streamline your design. This might make it easier to monitor, to be stable, to be more performant. And in this fast-moving world, you'll be able to better respond to your users' requirements. So I think it really does depend on your policies. I think sensibly, if you're in the vein of a couple of versions behind, I think that you'll be fine. I wouldn't want to be too old in your versions, just because the world is moving apace at the moment. So this slide is just giving you like a lifecycle management platform lifecycle, where on here you can see that there's four categories here: Red Hat OS, the Microsoft platform, JBoss and Java, and you can kind of see on here what level they are at in their different versions in terms of support and extended support. And one thing that you can do with the lifecycle management is you can kind of earmark and target certain release structures on your year. So here I've got a couple of instances, middle of 2017, middle of 2018, and for those you could target a certain application set. So it might be sensible, for example, in 2018, middle of that year, if you're looking at a stable, supportable, operable situation, then if you've got a Linux platform, then it might be sensible to go for RHEL 7, sitting with JBoss EAP 7, and we're using Java 8. That is in the middle of fully supported infrastructure, sensible move. Middle of 2019 moving forward, things may change slightly. So this is an ongoing update to this life cycle as you should move forward. And we'll carry on with our next slide, which is the dependencies. And this is a a key slide really in terms of working with all the other areas that you might work with in your business. EAP 7 uses all the modern technology, so it's on RHEL 7. It needs Java 1.8 and all the most recent technologies. And it's always sensible to be on a configuration that is commonly used and fully tested. As you know, Red Hat has its supported configuration sheet, and it's sensible to be on one of those supported configurations, not only because Red Hat can support it better, but also because the community will be more likely to have one of those supported configurations, and therefore you'll get better support from there as well. And of course, with the opportunity side, we have the new features. With EAP 7, it brings you JEE 7 and Java 1.8, which does bring multiple updates and changes. Some of the components that have changed within JBoss you can see there, whereas the JBoss Web has moved to Undertow, the Hornet Q has moved to Active MQ Artemis, JBoss AS has moved to the Wildfly Core, and there's various things that have been removed and added. And of course, with the updated JEE and also the updated Java, there's a whole bunch of things that have been upgraded and modified that you might be able to take advantage of in your application. And it may be something that the developers may be keen to utilize for not only their own interest, but also to ensure that the application is remaining performant and can also respond to users' demands and have new features in when they need to have new features. So we quickly went through there some drivers behind the migration, and I boiled those down into 3 different areas: with the lifecycle management, with the technology, with the dependencies and the interfaces which that use, and also the opportunity for migrating to a new technology stack. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Next time we'll look through the development challenges, how we do that. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you.